All right, folks, welcome. It is good to see you all. I hope everyone's doing well. And this is another version of Level Up with Captain IP Daily. Yep, tonight we are going to be doing something different game. And we got ourselves...
You got yourself me.
Oh, well, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Earl Jugs McGee, and he is our special guest tonight.
You got yourself a game there. A game that's all about my favorite pastime. I love games. I love anything you got to do with moonshine. I carry my 2 jugs. 2 jugs.
All right, well, let's see what we got here. We got the old Moonshine Ink today. Moonshine Ink is on. So here it is, the history of gin.
Our hometown just ain't big enough for you. It's never been. You finally decide to leave and make a name for yourself in the city. But it's not that easy, is it? Work's hard to come by. The city's not a friendly place. Finally, you find a job in a mob-controlled pub. Not a dream come true, sure, but you meet people, you learn things. You remember your big dreams and start a business with like-minded friends. Still, your actions don't go unnoticed. All it takes is one tip from your ex-employers, and it all goes down the drain. A police raid. The business is over. Fortunately, you are out of town. Unfortunately, you have to stay out permanently. You pack your bags and return back home to the mountains. But it's not all that bad. With the help of your great uncle and the best little sister in the world, that's me, you start a new business. Moonshining. Ready to chase some big dreams again.
All right, I had to turn down Earl's microphone, or else he would have talked through the whole intro, and you guys would have never heard anything.
that old grand uncle, he looks just like me. That's just what I used to look like 10 years ago. Yeah, let's see here.
Well, hold on a second, Earl. You're not going to do all the announcing. It's tough for people to understand you. So that's my job. All right, so one day, a young moonshiner sets up a small operation in a peaceful forest in the distant mountains. Will he be able to make his fortune or profit? Or will he find hardships of the trade and the police?
Oh, you don't want to have none of them police around. They come in there, they steal all your stuff, they shoot up your steel. Ooh, they'll take all your money, everything you got. Had that happen once. Had to run through the woods till we got away. Yeah, Earl, I can imagine that's got to be pretty bad. Yeah, so it's time to find out. Time to play Moonshine Inc. Do we want to launch a tutorial? Sure. This is where Earl will probably come in helpful. Oh, there's Grunkle Donald. Does that make him your grand pop and uncle? We got a lot of that up there in the woods, up in the mountains. We got Uncle Daddies, and we got daddy uncles, and we got all kinds of mama sisters. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a good grandpa uncle. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, Earl. Is one of your jugs getting a little lighter, Earl? Sometimes I always gotta have a little nip.
All right, here's your grandpop. It's my brother's old moonshine base. No one's used it since forever, but maybe it'll be of some use to you. And you have a lot to learn. Still, as you can see, the whole thing is in a worried state. Oh, I'm sorry state. We should check to see what's what. You can start by moving around the base. Okay, move around the base. Got it. Okay, and zoom in and zoom out. Oh, that's easier to see, isn't it?
Yeah. You definitely want to see everything you got there. Look at what you got. You got buildings and everything.
Now that that's done, let's talk about Moonshine. That's what we're here for, after all. All right, I'm going to let you take over on this part, Earl. This is your area of expertise.
Yeah. All right. First off, now, I don't read so well, but I'll do my best. First off, the very basis of moonshining are the ingredients you use. Yeah. Let's see what we have in storage by pressing the main button. The main button, that looks like that one's flashing. Oh, yeah. It seems we got less than a hill of spoiled beans. No matter, though, we can always go to the store and buy some ingredients. Let me show you on the map where the store's at. There it is. It's a store. Oh, I can get all my ingredients there. This is the map. It'll tell you more about it later. But for now, let's check out the store. They have good offers sometimes.
Can I help you?
Not a lot to look at today, but it'll do. Let's buy ourselves some demerara, I don't know how you say it, but some of that there sugar right there. All right. We need 50 kilograms. And we need 50 kilograms of the Barbados. Yeah, them Barbados sugar. Oh, Barbados.
Yes, I think that's Barbados.
Oh, okay. Let's get out of here.
Will do.
All right, we're going to return to base. This place is pretty empty, to be fair, but there should be a fermentation tank in the stores. Now, I knows about fermentation. You can access it directly from the fast apparatus placement. Oh, my Lord, what is all those? What is an apparatus? Is that like a hippopotamus? Apparatus placement window. Okay. We need a barrel. There it is. Look at that. And we need to put it somewhere where it's not going to blow up everything. Oh, that's a good spot right there. Grunkles. Donald says, that's a fine smell of fermentation. That is a fine smelling fermentation tank. Yes, yeah, Earl, I know. What a delight. Think that's their here thing. We can transform sugar into alcohol. Now we should hire someone to help us. Your poor Grunkle is so very old, after all, and thirsty. But I digress.
let's see here. Visit the worker headquarters.
Now, I never had no workers for me because I didn't want to split none of the money with nobody.
Yes, I know, but we're going to have workers. So we look over here in recruitment. Not a huge turnout and all rookies, but I reckon that makes sense. None of the folks in the area know you, but this guy seems like a good sort. A little wet behind the ears, but he'll learn fast. All right, so we'll take Carson. We'll send him an offer. And he is good to go. And we need another one. Someone who's careful or someone who's fast learner. I think we'll go fast learner. All right, so now we got 2 workers. And each time your worker does a task, they gain experience. It can be used to promote them to a specialization, and each specialization gives a bonus to different types of tasks. So specialize the heck out of them. All right. Perfect. Now we got a crew. Let's craft what we need. All right.
This is where I comes in. We need some distillation. You gotta distill all that alcohol. We'll try something nice and simple. We got ourselves a thump keg and a pot. No thump kegs yet. Sorry. That one looks like a good one, though. All right, let's see where we can put this one. We got to put it near our barrel.
All right, let's see what's going on for the batches here. All right, so we need to create a new batch. Earl, how are we going to do this?
Well, you got to take some of them there sugar ingredients that you bought. First, you choose one.
All right, let's see what's going on here now. There we go.
Yeah, that's the one. Use that one. The one that starts with the B. And then we go over here and we pick our barrel so that we know where to put it. So we can ferment it. If you don't let it ferment, well, let me tell you, it's not going to come out as alcohol. Oh. And since we only have simple yeast, that's all we're going to use is yeast. Now we're going to add some of the other sugar. Ooh, look at that. So the more this chart changes and the more we match it up, the more good kind of moonshine we're going to find. We can change here, ingredients. But right now we got to find ourselves all right, for some reason we are having a technical difficulty. All right, so we've got ourselves a 72% match on this. We can adjust it here. There we go. Until we get, oh, look at that, 100%. Now we make ourselves up right in the distillery. And then our final step is bottling. So we hit square and off we go. All right, we ferment. Here's our fermentation tank. This is the fermentation window where you'll plan the first step of production. You have to set the temperature, quantity, mixing, timing, everything. Fermentation diagram summarizes the whole process. The ingredients and the equipment, the more complex the recipe, the more details you'll see. All right, so we got to create ourselves some mash. Yeah, mash is pretty good. Sometimes it's got some corn in there. Sometimes you put some fruits in there. This time it's just plain old sugar.
Yes, just sugar this time. All right, you can view what we're using for fermentation, which is our barrel. Cleanliness is also crucial. You want it to be very clean to make sure you get the right taste. And then you want to mix up the mash and the water. You want to get about the right amount out of 200 liters. All right, so now we fill the tank by adding mash and water. Be careful with the quantity of sugar you add because too much will overwhelm the yeast and kill it. Fill the tank with a minimum of 190 liters, okay? 190 liters. Average 17 to 22. That's an awful lot. There we go. All right. And then you have your temperature set by the fire underneath the pot. Fermentation timeline, you can always change when you want to stop the process. At some points, additional flavors might appear, which are represented by colored bubbles. Try to reduce the time to 20 hours. All right, 20 hours. Let's see. All right, that's it right there. That's all there is.
All right, 20 hours, we're going to have ourselves a party.
No, Earl. We're gonna have ourselves something to sell. That's what we're gonna have. We don't want to be having a party. All right, we're gonna create this. And there we go. And we got 20-something hours to go. You can see your workers bringing water and mash to the tank. Hard-working little bees, aren't they? Fermentation is a long process. How about we speed up some time? All right, there we go. All right, and the recipe book. He's got a recipe book.
Out there in the woods and up in the mountains, we don't write nothing down because we don't want the law to come up there and steal what we got and know what we's making now or in the future.
Yes, I understand that, Earl. I definitely get that. All right, well, welcome to the recipe map. This is where the unlockable recipes are going to be. There's 4 types of spirit: moonshine, brandy, whiskey, and vodka. 3 complexities: cheap, fine, and premium. For now, you don't know a ton of recipes, but let me tell you how to discover more. Each recipe has a radius, which will expand depending on the quality that you achieve when making a batch. When the radius hits another recipe, you'll get a hint about it. Each hint brings you closer to finding a new liquor. It's your God-given duty to discover every recipe and make it premium quality to honor your ancestors, or at least to honor my wish to try each one. Now let's check out your recipes. All right. This is the recipe you discovered when you did the last batch. You can see all the different elements and main ingredients, the flavor chart, the ethanol percentage, so on. When you don't know everything about a recipe, this is how it looks. Each hint reveals a little something. Each alcohol type has its own tab, and with time, you'll discover everything. All right. Time to set up distillation.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This is when things go kaplooey if they're going to, and they'll blow up. So, here's what we got.
Yes. Distillation is a subtractive step. Each jar contains a fraction of the final product, both in terms of flavor and ethanol value. Selecting the ones that you want to keep and the ones you want to discard will let you find a balance between the expected flavor and the ethanol content.
Yeah, you don't want to have none of that ethanol. That stuff will kill you.
In the settings for the distillation process, you can control the flame rate and the jar. These affect the speed of the production, the quantity, and quality. All right, let's set the flame rate higher. Now you have to specify which to get rid of in order to achieve the desired outcome. Modify the jar settings to fit 20 to 30% ethanol. Okay. And we'll start it. While this distillation is all distilling, I can tell you a little bit about notifications. They're the way it happens in your base, so you'll be updated and informed. Now the distillation's been done, we can bottle the product. Let's open the batch hub again. Oh yeah, set up some bottling. Alright, this is the final point when you can modify things. Fortify or dilute the product. Set the price. Once it's bottled. It's done. Alright, now what can you do to dilute it? That's you add a little water to it. That's what help you meet the ethanol requirement. All right, the quality of the product is influenced by several parameters. The flavor matches the ethanol content in the recipe and the quality of your apparatus. All right, later on, other parameters will also influence the quality, like the skills of your workers or blending of your jars. Pricing obviously is an important part of the process because we want those Benjamins. But don't be too greedy. We need our customer to actually buy our products. Consider the quality to price ratio. You can see the mastery points you'll receive for the recipe. Mastery points are used to unlock new tech. Each time you raise the quality of a recipe, you'll gain more mastery points. And finally, give it a name. We'll call it Rock Gut. That's good.
Yeah, I use Rock Gut all the time. I likes to call it Rock Gut. It's why it's called Rock Gut. Because it's rot your guts.
Congratulations, your first batch is now done. Now you can archive it. This way you can recreate it exactly in the future. Well, having moonshine is all fine and dandy, but having money is even better. Your product has to be delivered to a thirsty clients. Luckily, you have just the means for that. Just remember, always be careful when making your rounds. Let's check out the delivery window. All right. In this little window, you can set up the details for your delivery. Remember that's how you build your reputation. All right, we picked our driver, we picked our car, we picked our rock gut. We have to set a destination. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. And off we go. We drop that off. All right, each hotspot has different client preferences. Try to meet them for optimal dealings. Meanwhile, the alert level at the top shows the risk of a police raid on your stash. Each time you sell something, the risk increases, but more clients means more money. All right, you can see the missions at the top left. There's a mission right there. A poor soul in desperate need of our help. Let's take a look at the missions log. Okay. Deliver 20 liters of poor man's tequila. You ever make poor man's tequila, Earl?
Oh, yeah. We make poor man's tequila all the time. Nothing like it. That's for the poor folk. Poor folks up in the mountains. We just calls it tequila. 'Cause it burns out your insides.
All right, we're going to unlock mashing. Open up our workshop. Clean our barrel. And craft us something for fermentation. All right. Does that look like a good one there, Earl?
Yeah, certainly does. Where you going to put it? I hope somewhere close to all the other pieces. Ah,
I like it right there. What do you think?
yeah, that's a good spot.
All right, we're going to make ourselves a new batch and try to make some. Try to make a new recipe. All right, he's got a new recipe for us. We're going to click on it and come over here and go to Poor Man's Tequila and choose that recipe. And what does it say we need? It says we need agave syrup, corn syrup, and yeast. All right. Agave syrup. Okay, one more thing. Be wary of the police. Our activities are far from legal.
That's too true. So true there, Grunkle Donald. Yeah. There's always police around, and you never know when you're going to find some.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Trouble on the road and too many transactions in one hotspot will increase it. And if you reach the end of the police bar, your base will be raided and the means game over. And that's it. I like finishing on a happy note. Now we'll go make Grunkle proud. And if you need anything, just check the book of Moonshine and see all the knowledge I can pass on to you. That's it. And what Grunkle means is you have the very basics of moonshine. There's a bit more of this specific kind of work. Well, back in my day, he says, back in your day, people didn't brush their teeth, voted Nixon, and prayed to the moon. How dare you, young lady? And there ain't nothing wrong with respecting the moon. Williams are working, and his shine on it after all. Either way, I think it's best if my little older brother produced some more liquor to hone his skill. I suppose. All right, we're going to try to make this other stuff. We need some agave syrup and something else. We'll find out.
Greetings.
All right, there's some agave syrup. And well, there was some other kind of syrup.
Thanks.
I just have to figure out which one. Let's go here and look. Oh, agave syrup and corn syrup will work. And birch syrup or cane sugar. We can do cane sugar and corn syrup.
Welcome. Will do.
All right. We are making us some shine.
Is this that tequila stuff? Yeah. I'm going to like this, I think. Ooh. We want some of that cane sugar. Always, cane sugar's good, good stuff. Corn syrup and that agave syrup. All right, let's see what kind of... See if we can get ourselves some of this poor man's tequila. That looks good. All right. Now, here we go. We set that all up. We set up our fermentation. We'll try to get us a whole lot. A whole lot of mash. That mash tastes good. All right. All right, let's get this all straightened out so we can make ourselves the right amounts. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. All right. Now, as my friend IP Daly, Captain IP Daly, has told you, I make this stuff up in the mountains all the time. Don't tell nobody. But West Virginia Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina. Those are all great places to find stills and steel makers. All right, let's see what happens here. How much are we going to get out of this batch? Look at those guys work. They go so fast. They cook that stuff up. Now they're going to ferment it. Then they pour it in the pot. There's the fire underneath. I like when you put the flame right underneath the pot, but it's a little tough to keep it at the right temperature. So sometimes you use gas, but then there's chances of bloating up. All right. So set up our distillation. Nope. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. All right, there we go. So we needed 30% ethanol. And that's going to give us the numbers we need. It doesn't give us the taste we need, though. How to get the taste. I'm trying. Earl just whispered in my ear, "You gotta hurry up before it burns." I know.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get this. Maybe we'll go up to the top here and move it up to higher. That's 34, more than 30. Okay, there we go. We're going to make our poor man's tequila just like that. Bottle it up. I'll sell it for $50 a bottle. That sounds good. All right, that's good quality. And we'll sell it. And we want to sell this to that guy. He wants it. I think. Oh yeah, there we go. We did it. All right. All right, folks. So this has been another show, Level Up with Captain IP Daily, with my special guest, Earl to Jugs McGee.
I still got my 2 jugs, but one of them's kinda empty and the other one's mostly not full. But I'm happy. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Earl. It was good to see you again. Thanks for coming. All right, so if you like the show, please hit like. Please hit subscribe. It definitely is a great thing for me. Helps a lot. And I appreciate it. And I will see you next time on another episode of Leveling Up with Captain IP Daily. Thanks a lot.